2020, commemorating and celebrating VE Day 2020, 75 years ago, when that day happened that we won the war from the enemy across the sea. I want to tell you a true story today about someone that lived not far away from here, Henry Blogg, a lifeboatman, and the story took place just behind me, a few miles out to sea, very close to a place called Haysborough. Perhaps some of you know of it. So I'm going to take you back and tell you this story that took place in 1941. It's a true story, but before we go, just have a quick look at the sea here. It looks pretty calm today, and we all enjoy going down to the beach, and we love going down and having fun and being on our island. And let's not forget, we are an island, and it was that helped us sort of win the war. Just across the waters there, I don't know if you can see a ship just in the distance. The story does involve a ship in this story. So let's go back to 1941 in October. There was a ship called the SS English Trader, which wasn't in the Navy, but she was bringing goods back and forth to Britain during wartime. And she was just coming back from Cuba, where she was bringing loads of sugar. And as she came into from the North Sea into dock at London, all the crew that were travelling that day, they all got off for a well-earned rest. There was about 46 in the crew, and after a day or two, they started to put stores back on that ship to take her next trip. Was going to go to a place called Mombasa in Africa. That was in East Africa. Now, on October the 25th, 8 of the crew that knew the ship really well got on board, but the rest of the crew didn't really know the ship. And remember, she was going down to Africa, so your normal route would have to be going down south and go through the English Channel and then go down to Africa. But this was not the time to go down the English Channel, because boys and girls, what might have been there in that time in 1941? Well, if you've guessed it, there would have been lots of enemy ships from the Germans, the Nazis. There would have been submarines, the U-boats, the Unterboats, and of course the Luftwaffe. So it would be a dangerous route to take. So that day, she queued up with 20 other ships in a convoy, 2 by 2 in the River Thames, and then she made her way, turning left, up towards this coast. Now, to protect those ships that weren't in the Navy, they had 2 gunboats, 2 naval ships. One was called HMS Vesper, and she had these big guns to be able to give protection to the convoy as they made their trip with their cargo. Now, because the crew weren't very good at using the ship really well, they had trouble making the engines go at the right speed. And the SS English Trader had an engine that was powered by steam, so it was a coal ship. Now, the HMS Vesper gave her a call over the radio and said, SS English Trader, this is the captain of HMS Vesper. You'll need to keep up with us or pull in. Reading you loud and clear, this is SS English Trader. We'll do our best, don't worry about us. And then they carried on with the journey, but they were going so slow, only doing about 8 knots, while the rest of the convoy were getting away. Now, as the day wore on, it started to get dark. A storm started to brew. And a storm at sea is not a good thing. But there was something else that was witnessed by the crew. They started to see lights in the sky. It was an air attack that was hitting the convoy. So explosions were going into the sky. Of course, the SS Trader was so far back it wasn't affecting them. But there was a concern. And then everything went quiet again. Anyway, they carried on with their journey. But then something happened. In the sky there was a sound like this. It was an enemy bomber coming from the Luftwaffe, which was the air force from the Germans. and a Dornier dew came out of the sky and headed straight for the SS English trader. And as she got close to the ship, she dropped 2 missiles. And these missiles went into the sea, and the missiles went straight for the ship. Luckily, it just passed them on the port side, just barely missing the SS English trader. Now, they thought they were goners as the Dornier dew came back for a second drop of bombs. But then out of the blue, out of the sea, came HMS Vesper and started to fire shots at the aircraft. And those shots got a direct hit on the tail of the Dornier dew bomber. And then she went into the clouds with smoke going off her tail and collapsed into the sea. So it was a close call. And HM Vesper said, SS English trader, glad to see you're safe now. We'll have to join the convoy, but good luck. And off they went. So now SS English trader carried on with their journey up towards now the Hammer Knoll, which is not that far away from us, just in the distance here. Now the storm was getting worse, and then something else happened to the ship. All of a sudden there was a great surge as the ship jutted to a hop. It got stuck on a sandbank. It was on the Hammer Knoll, and now the waves were crashing into her sides, and she couldn't take the force, and it started to crack. They put the